I wanted to come on here today and talk about what happened at South Maui Gardens yesterday and my video because I felt like my video was terrible. I was having a lot of physical reactions to filming myself in public, which I didn't realize I was going to have. And so in my video, I was kind of describing it and expressing it and not analyzing it, but trying to almost figure out what was going on in real time as it was happening. And when I got home way later in the evening, I almost didn't post it because I didn't even look at it. I didn't even listen to it. I didn't even want to. I was so embarrassed during the filming. And so when I went to post it, I was so embarrassed that the video probably was just terrible and didn't make any sense. And what I realized, I posted the video anyway, because the whole point of this journey this year is to just be real and authentic. And I'm learning so many things about myself. And yesterday, when I came home and I posted the video, I literally realized that I'm still holding on to this identity that is so old. And it comes from a place where I am so worried about being judged. I'm so worried about what people think. I'm worried about what people say about me. I'm worried about how I will be received. And it's all ego, right? It's all just my ego. And this fear is my ego trying to protect me from being seen. And the whole point of this is to be seen for myself, but also for other people to see that the life, that we've been given, we need to live it fully. And that's what I'm doing right now. And so yesterday was extremely hard for me, because I realized I stopped a long time ago raising my hand. I stopped letting people see the real me, the curious me, the one who asks a lot of questions, the one who's boisterous, who's loud, who's probably sometimes annoying. Because I think, too many times, whenever I expressed myself, whether it be questions in class or singing songs or just, dancing in public, whatever it is, I feel like it was always followed with the word stupid. You're being stupid, you sound stupid, you're stupid, and you're annoying, you're being annoying. And stop singing, you're loud, you don't sound good. Um, which is so confusing because there's times where I've actually just sang, because I just don't care. Sometimes I'll just be uh, with a friend and I'll just start belting out a song and they're like, wow, your voice is really good. And I'm like, is it? Because I feel like there was so much time as a little girl that I was told that it was not. And I've carried this with me through my whole life. And so I've created this version of me that does not feel that if I express myself authentically, I will be judged. I'll be laughed at. I'll be humiliated. That's just it. I don't want to be humiliated. I don't want to be Yeah, I guess that's the rawest word I can use is humiliation. And it's because so many times in my life, that's what happened. I expressed myself and then I was told that it was stupid. It was wrong. It wasn't cool. And so I found other ways to express myself. I became funny. I laughed it off. I was like, ha ha ha. I was just making a joke. Like I would say something real, like an actual curiosity or a philosophical statement, and people would be like, you're weird. I'd be like, I mean, I'm just joking. I'd laugh it off. And so my whole life, I've been like building this persona, this identity that doesn't want to, is so fearful of just being myself because it hurt. It was so painful anytime I was rejected. And yesterday, in real time, I was sitting at South Maui Gardens. All I was going to do is talk about the gardens and the place and the food trucks and my whole body like went into alert mode. My whole body was saying, this is scary. This is a moment where you can get laughed at, you can get booed, you can get told you're annoying, you can get told you're stupid. Like it was like on high alert for this humiliation. And so I was so embarrassed. I was just like, oh my God, this is embarrassing. What am I doing? I shouldn't, like, and this huge contraction just came and I talked through it. It probably didn't make a whole lot of sense. And then, like I said last night, I posted it and I immediately had to think about where is this coming from? What is happening? I This has also shown up a lot for me with body image. I noticed yesterday it wasn't just people seeing me film myself, it was also um all of a sudden I was hyper aware of like what I was wearing and how it looked. And, if I was slouching, if I was sitting straight, if do I look good? Do I look good? Or are people gonna call me, are people gonna say like, oh, you need to lose weight? Or um, I can see your sweat through your shirt, or I can, just something. And I was super hyper aware, and I realized that that's another thing that I've been hiding or fearing is to just be fully in this body as it is. Uh, because it's scary, It's like when you're growing up and people are constantly commenting on your body, your size, your eating habits, your exercise habits, it's like becomes ingrained in you that nothing you do is right. And everyone is judging you. Everyone's looking, everyone's staring. And the fact of the matter is, like, nobody is, right? Nobody. Like, we're all just worried about our own selves. And I realized it happened all throughout the rest of the night. I was like pulling on my shirt and making sure it was down and making sure like my pants weren't, because I had on these loose, beautiful pants, but I had my phone in there, so they kept kind of like falling lower and I was, fidgeting with my nails. And it was like the physical reaction from South Maui Gardens literally lasted all through the night. And I didn't realize how deep this thread, this feeling, this like these mannerisms, this pattern, everything went until I got home and I really started to like think about it and let my body relax and become regulated again. I feel like I was completely dysregulated through the whole video experience and then everything that came after. This fear of being seen, I realize has impacted my entire life. Because when I was being myself and I was ridiculed or shamed, I overcompensated. Stupid is such a heavy word for me, and I don't know, like, if I just thought that about myself, or if it was told to me. I feel like I just thought that about myself. And so I worked really hard in school and I got really good grades because the last thing I wanted to do was be called stupid. And then I realized, so that was school. And then after school, I started, you know, overcompensating in all my jobs, being super helpful, like super loyal, um, making sure that I was the best and I was needed and wanted and like so good at my job that no one could say, like you're not good enough. And I think that's why I stayed so long in some of my jobs and some of my relationships is because if I left, what would they think of me? If I left, if it wasn't working, if the job wasn't working, if the relationship wasn't working, then it's just because I wasn't working hard enough. And I didn't, and then sometimes like you'd be so far into the job or so far into the relationship that it's like, well, shoot, you kind of realize like I've been here too long. Like, what am I doing? Why am I? And then that word, why am I so stupid? Why did I fall for this? Why did I fall for this guy who's like a total jerk to me? Like, why did I allow that to happen? And then the anger that comes with that. Yeah, yesterday was a hard day, and I realized a lot about myself and how just that core of being seen as myself is painful, it's scary, and I hope to do more stuff in public. It's like um just immerse myself in the uncomfortable because that's what's going to create growth, right? That's what's going to create a new version of me and hopefully break those patterns and those habits of overcompensating because of this fear of being seen in my authentic self. So, thanks for being on this journey. I hope that what I've said resonates and maybe it's something that has also been a struggle in your life. So, here's to going through it. See you next time.